Hello, my name is Sonali and I welcome you all to the latest episode of Around the World in 7 Days. As we all know, these days Ukraine is suffering from war and its consequences. To deal with this, it is engaged in carrying out exercises at different levels. In this, sometimes it appeals to Western countries to provide weapons, and sometimes it extends its hand to get more help from NATO. Apart from this, it is also engaged in the efforts that Russia should stop this war by any means. However, in this desire, it is struggling to maintain its honor as well. It is showing its wounds by going to different forums of the world to restore peace. In such a situation, many countries put themselves forward to become middlemen in the peace talks. For example, apart from countries like Turkey, China, Israel, and Denmark, African leaders have also proposed a peace agreement to end this crisis. But now Saudi Arabia has also thrown its cards to get its name registered in this list. In fact, Saudi Arabia has recently hosted a conference related to Ukraine peace talks. 40 countries from around the world met in the Saudi Arabian port city of Jeddah to discuss a solution on the Ukraine crisis. In this conference, consultations were held on the 10-point peace proposal of Ukraine. But the question arises that why did Saudi Arabia, which was trying to appear neutral in the Russia-Ukraine war, take the initiative to negotiate a peace settlement? What does it want to achieve through this? Can it be speculated that Saudi Arabia now wants to create a new contender in the world order? Why is it taking so much interest in the issue of peace between Russia and Ukraine? In today's episode, we will try to find answers to all these questions, but first of all, let us know what the achievement of the Ukraine peace agreement in Jeddah was. Significantly, China, Indonesia, Egypt, Chile, Mexico, America, and some European countries, including developing countries like India and Brazil, participated in this conference. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, who went to participate on behalf of India, said that India has been continuously talking to Russia and Ukraine since the beginning of the war. India is a supporter of the world order based on the principles and international laws contained in the Charter of the United Nations. This is the reason why India wants a permanent solution to the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. For this, it is constantly trying. Apart from India, other countries also kept their point for reconciliation between the two countries. It is worth noting here that invitation was not sent to Russia for this conference. Because of this, it did not participate in it. But Russia had said that it would keep an eye on it. In such a situation, if we talk about its achievements, then you must have understood that when Russia was not involved in it, then it is impossible to talk about the issue of stopping the war. But it was special in this case that at least something happened through this conference in the direction of peace. Even though the war could not be stopped by this conference, nor was any date fixed for it, taking any initiative in that direction is also a big deal. In fact, its purpose was to prepare a draft of major principles to eliminate Russia-Ukraine conflict. This is the reason why Ukraine has left with lot of hopes. According to a senior Ukrainian official, talks in Saudi Arabia were fruitful to move towards a peaceful solution to the war with Russia. Ukraine called it an attempt to garner broad international support for the principles it seeks to base peace on. This includes the withdrawal of Russian troops and the end of Russian control over all Ukrainian territory. After this, now coming to our next question, what does Saudi Arabia want to achieve by making a peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine? Notably, right now the wind is blowing to push for a multipolar world order. This is the reason why new claimants of this new world order are emerging. In such a situation, experts are seeing the holding of Ukraine peace conference by Saudi Arabia as a claim. Indeed, Saudi Arabia's image has largely been that of a self-contained country. This was also because Saudi Arabia used to give more importance to regional issues earlier. But now it wants to expand its influence by making major changes in its foreign policy. It has now made up its mind to play a bigger role in world politics and diplomacy. Saudi Arabia wants to realize its growing role in the countries around it and at the international level. Actually, due to the withdrawal of America from this Gulf region, Saudi Arabia has got an opportunity to expand its scope. Saudi has understood that countries like Turkey and Qatar are using their soft religious power very well. In this, Qatar played a major role in negotiating between the US and the Taliban. Along with this, apart from UAE and Iran, Qatar also played an important role in talks between Egypt and Turkey. In such a situation, now Saudi Arabia is also in the process of making a big agreement as an emerging power. It is looking at the signing of a peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine as one such opportunity. In this, it is also showing a lot of its diplomacy. This is the reason why an invitation was sent to China in the peace conference held in Jeddah, which was an important step in Saudi Arabia's diplomacy. In fact, it realizes that Russia and China are emerging as two alternative forces in the new global order. China is known as a special ally of Russia. In such a situation, due to the presence of China in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia had killed two birds with one stone. On the one hand, it is maintaining relations with Russia as part of the OPEC Plus group. On the other hand, it wants to send a message to America that it is no longer dependent on it. Overall, it can be said that the responsibility of ceasefire and restoration of peace is mostly on Russia and Ukraine. But so far, it does not seem that both these countries want to take any concrete step in this direction. It is so necessary that by proposing a peace agreement between the two countries, other countries seem to be making headlines. However, it is also a fact that the Russia-Ukraine war has created upheaval in the whole world. It has badly affected the economy and supply chain across the world. This has created a crisis of food security affecting millions of people in Africa, Asia, and other parts of the world. In such a situation, for the betterment of the world, both the countries should lay down their arms as soon as possible and contribute to establishing global peace. So that's all in this discussion. See you in the next episode. But before leaving, let's note down a practice question based on today's coverage. Explain the implications of Saudi Arabia's interest in a Russia-Ukraine peace deal.